This is our first language workout. If it were read out loud, it would sound like this. We have drank all of the fruit punch, but Mother will buy some more for we kids. Today, let's just go in order. Let's start at the beginning and work toward the end and make all of the proofreading changes that we need to. The first change we need to make is to capitalize the first word in the sentence. That's a pretty basic rule, so I would ask you to jazz it up a little bit and challenge your thinking there. How about if we talk about what part of speech we is? There are 8 choices to pick from. Noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, and then all of them that end in shun. Conjunction, preposition, interjection. We is a pronoun, and what pronouns do is they take the place of a noun. Alright, next if you look at the verb, have drank is incorrect. But there are 2 ways to fix that problem. The easiest way is probably to just get rid of the word have. It is perfectly acceptable to say we drank all of the fruit punch. It is not acceptable to say we have drank. So if you choose to keep the word have, you'll have to change the word drank to drunk. So let's consider that verb in all 3 of its forms. Right now, I am drinking a soda. Yesterday, I drank a soda. All week long, I have drunk many sodas. So pick whichever way you want to fix that verb. I'm guessing that most teenagers would get rid of the word have and would have we drank. Alright, the next change is really picky. No guilt if you wouldn't get it. But there is no such thing as all of something. You're just supposed to say all. All the fruit punch, all the books in my locker, not all of the books in my locker. All my friends, not all of my friends. That's pretty picky. If you think about fruit punch, you might think, oh, do I have to capitalize fruit punch? If it were a brand name, if it were Hawaiian Punch, Sunny D, give me another one, whatever. If it were a brand name, you'd have to capitalize it. But this is just saying soda, milk, fruit punch. It's not a specific type, Hawaiian Punch. Then you would have to capitalize it if it were Hawaiian Punch. All right, at the next point, we have a really big change that has to be made in the sentence. We have a complete independent clause, complete thought. We drank all the fruit punch. That could stand by itself. That could be stable. Subject, predicate. And we have another one like that at the end. Mother will buy some more for we kids. Mother will buy some more for we kids is also stable. It's an independent clause. The problem is that we have just right now the word but standing all by itself, trying to glue those 2 sentences together. And that won't work. It's just not strong enough glue to glue the 2 sentences together. So at that point you have a couple options. If you want to stick with a but, and I know that in middle school we talked about but as being part of the fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Those are conjunctions or fanboys. If you choose to keep it, you have to put a comma in front of that word but. Another option you could do at that point, easy peasy, you could put a period there. You could get rid of the but, put a period, and start the new sentence with mother. A third option you could do there is a pretty fancy mark of punctuation, and that would be a semicolon. A semicolon works just like a period in between 2 sentences that are connected. All right, I'm going to challenge you here. A comma is to but the way a semicolon is to, think of a fancy word that means the same thing as but. Hopefully you'd come up with the word however. However doesn't have to be at the beginning of a sentence, but for this example I'm going to show it to you at the beginning. So you could use semicolon however instead of the but, you could use comma but, or you could put a period there. If you have the idea that you could use just a comma, that would be a grave error, a really serious error. Just a comma in between 2 sentences is a mistake called a comma splice. With no punctuation, the way it was originally, that's a mistake called a run-on. I can use just that comma if I make the first half of this not a sentence anymore. If I start with a word, I'm going to use a blank first. Blank, we drank all the fruit punch. Mother will buy some more for we kids. Then you could put just a comma. If we said since we drank all the fruit punch, comma, Mother will buy some more for we kids, then it would work, because the first half isn't a sentence anymore. If you say, since we drank all the fruit punch, that's a dependent clause. That can't stand by itself. All right, if we finish the second half now, in this case we do have to capitalize Mother. And if you find yourself scratching your head thinking, oh, I can never remember, grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, mama, daddy, whatever, you never know which to capitalize. You have to use that old trick that your elementary school teachers taught you, that if you can put a name in that spot, then you need to capitalize it. So let's say your mother's name is Lisa. If you said, we drank all the fruit punch, but Lisa will buy some more for we kids, that works. So in this case, we know then that that mother has to be capitalized. All right, at the end, it's not appropriate to say for we kids. It needs to be for us kids. And your gut is probably just telling you that it doesn't sound right to say for we. Some students don't like to keep the word kids on the end there. They think it's awkward to say for us kids. So a lot of my students are crossing off kids and ending the sentence with a period there. It is, strictly speaking, it is okay to say for us kids. But if that sounds awkward to you, just cross off the word kids. All right, so there are some options up here. But if you would proofread this sentence by keeping it the way it originally was and adding a comma, you've created what's called a compound sentence. If you choose the semicolon, you've also created a compound sentence. There are two ways to make a compound sentence. If you choose to put a period in between, you have two simple sentences. And if you make that first half tipsy, if you make that first half a dependent clause instead of an independent clause, the whole package would be referred to as complex. Push stuff.